Doing okay?
Busy, busy, nonstop stuff. And this has just got added on to everything else I got going on, which is fine by me.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say you probably didn't see this one coming, right?
You know what's interesting is that I think this is a better movie than God's Not Dead. It's the same writers. They've never Chuck and Kerry, the writers, both these never are offended by that because they think it's a better movie than God's Not Dead too. And I think God's Not Dead is a great movie, but it just shows you the frustration of independent movies. How do you get these things out there when you don't have $100 million Disney Vogue budget to promote movies when it's a $2 million budget on a movie? So,
Hmm.
but this is the battle we have for indies. We need strong word of mouth. We need people to support them.
Hmm. Well, and of course, it also goes to prove that a good story doesn't have a timeline, right? It can be, this movie will probably be relevant to many people in another 15 years from now, too, I bet.
Well, it's interesting. I told Dallas. I said he actually called me. It was about 4 years ago, and he said his family we watched What If, and it's his children's favorite movie.
Hmm.
All everything he's done, they like it more than Chosen actually. So,
Wow.
um, and I said, you know what? I talk about it in every speaking event I do. Since 2012, I've released 4 books, and I do a dozen to 15 speaking events a year. I talk about this movie every time. And
Hmm.
PureFlix said that the streamings keep going up every year. And I know partially is because me promoting this thing, because probably,
Yeah.
15 speaking events here, I'm probably reaching 100,000 people just at those speaking events. And if they tell 10 people each, well, they might get 100, 200, 500 streams out of that. I don't know. But when he said that they're going to redo it, I mean, release it, I said, this is awesome because I think it's a really wonderful movie and I think people will love it.
Yeah. And do you have some particular good memories from the set you think that you'll always take with you?
Just working. I mean, I think we had such a great cast, great crew. A couple of people in the crew I had worked with before in other independent movies. So it's like going, old homeschool to me. Um, Michigan reminds me of much my home state of Minnesota. A lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
We shot in the on the West Coast along the lake, and then we shot in Grand Rapids for the city stuff. And it's just, it was just a lot of fun, and Dallas was into it. I was in it. John Ratzenberger was amazing in this. Christy Swanson, she and I have done a couple of movies since then, and I just think it's got such a wonderful message, and it's I love the heart it's got, but I like the humor that's in it as well. I've always liked humor in everything I do, and I've done it 7 years in Hercules, 5 in Andromeda. We're all throwing humor in with those things as well.
Yeah. What was it about Dallas? Because he, isn't the Dallas Jenkins that we know now. What was it about him that was special that kind of kept that bond going? Because he obviously has a vision.
Oh, it's no question. He told me at one time, I think it was the last movie he did that didn't do that well, and he said, I think I'm just going to get out of this business. It's just not going to work. And then The Chosen, I think he just threw everything into that, and they were lucky enough to raise the money just to do a sizzle reel on it. I think they raised like $200,000, and I may be mistaken, but I think it was through his church in Chicago they raised the money, and they brought it to Angel. Angel loved it, and the whole idea just hit these crowdfunding things don't usually work. I mean, I know so many people do them and make it sound so easy. They go, "Well, look at The Chosen did it," and I go, "Yeah." But I know hundreds that did
Yeah.
nothing. It's really, I think maybe it's less than 3% of people that make money in that thing enough to make a movie or make something out of it. So they just hit a gold mine with that. And the production on The Chosen obviously is amazing. I've been on both sets. I've shot documentaries on both sets in Utah and also in Texas. So it's been fun to do it. I told Dallas a long time ago, dude, we haven't worked since 2010 together. He said, maybe once every 15 years you can throw a bone. And he said, well, I laughed when he said it was too recognizable to do The Chosen. And I went, I watched a movie the other day, and when they rolled the credits at the end, I went, that's Tom Cruise? I had no idea that was Tom Cruise in this movie. So he goes, well, you don't look Jewish. And I go, I certainly look like the Roman guards. I see a lot of blue-eyed
Yeah.
Roman guards on that thing. So
Hmm.
I had to give
Yeah.
him our time. But Dallas is a bright guy, smart dude. He's got a great team around him, and they're doing amazing work. And I know after this, I think they got one more season, maybe. He's going to go
Hmm.
into Moses, and I think after that, who knows? I mean, he's got a couple different ideas. I think David he wants to do, and then I think
Yeah.
he's going to take over his father's books, Left Behind, and do that a whole different way. I mean, I did the last movie I directed called Left Behind: Rise of the Antichrist, so I got to work with his father, Jerry Jenkins, in Dallas. So I kind of went full circle there.
That's great. Well, and the interesting part about the timing on this is I feel like in when this came out 15 years ago, there was the ability to talk about faith in regular entertainment interviews is a little bit different. I feel like something has changed, and do you kind of feel that way too? That maybe this is more the time for the movie?
Could be. I think that was my first really faith-based movie that I'd ever done. And
Yeah.
I loved it. It's got a great message. It's got a lot of humor in it as well. It's very touching. It's such a wonderful reverse. It's a wonderful life type of story. And after I did it, I said, I'm going to do more of these. And then, of course, I followed up with What If, which was hugely successful. I did Let There Be Light, which I directed, Miracle in East Texas. It's just, the genre has exploded. There's so many people doing wonderful work, the Kendricks, the Irwin brothers, Cindy Bond, her company Mission. I mean, there's so many great movies out there, and the production value is just as good as any other thing out there. Don't really do all the special effects because that's not what the movie is. I even get tired of these movies that spend $300 million and all they do is blow up New York City. And I watch that and I go, wow, 3 buildings went down. That's about 2 million people that just died. But nobody talks about that in the movie, do they? So I just thought it was kind of funny that it's sort of the same story all the time. And most of these movies are 70% CGI. These are stories that people can relate to the characters. They can relate to the storylines. They can be touched by it. I get through Sorbo Studios. Please go to sorbostudios.com. I get every day we get people writing and say, I became a Christian because of your movies. And to me, that's
Mm.
amazing. It's amazing how positive things out there because we have so much hate, we have so much anger and divisiveness that has been perpetuated through other movies Hollywood's doing, through the mainstream media, through Washington, D.C. And I just think this is a good way to fight back. And I think people are picking up on that. And I think that's been contributing to the growth of this sort of genre.
Yeah, because I mean that's got to be hard to, when you're having detractors just because of your faith or just because. I mean, of course, this goes back to biblical times, but
Of
that's got to
course.
be hard on you because you want to have your work and your art accepted, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? I mean, Hollywood is an interesting place. I just feel like we're doing movies that Hollywood used to do, movies that the good guy does win, that there is redemption, that there is hope out there, instead of all this negativity. I mean, the internet. This is a good use of the internet, but the internet to me is still the Wild West. There's so many weird bots out there that are controlling things. There's so many angry people out there that hate their lives and want to perpetuate the hate onto everybody else. I mean, this is a way to sort of fight back in a positive way instead of a negative way.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have any words of encouragement for people that want to tell stories in this kind of way? Because it's tough out there, but as you've proven, it can be done.
It can be done. I mean, cameras, all this stuff, the equipment's out there and the lighting's out there. Everything is the same as what Hollywood's using. It's just using it and just telling a different story. And you don't need to have $300 million to tell a good story.
Mm.
And I think it's going to keep growing. It's inspiring people to do it. I see a lot of young people doing the stuff Steven Spielberg did when he had Super 8 going cameras, and the people are motivated by it because it's an easy thing to do. You can take your iPhone and make really cool little short films, and a lot of these film festivals now have short film categories as well as faith categories, comedy, drama. There's so many different genres and so many different categories that people can bring their movies to and get exposure.
Yeah. And I know we've talked to you before about Hail Mary moments because, my co-host being Drew Pearson who caught the Hail Mary. And I know it changes all the time. You've had a bunch of Hail Mary moments in your life, haven't you? Where you just kind of had to go for it and it worked out, right?
Well, you had to bring up the Hail Mary because that was against my Minnesota Vikings. Now, it was still offensive interference as far as I'm
Yep.
concerned.
Yep. Oh.
I played golf with him since then a lot. I know him. I know Preston. I know Too Tall Ed Jones. Every time I come to Dallas, I play with those guys. We go to Jerry Jones's old course there, the Cowboy course.
Yes. Yeah. Was there a defining moment that you think of all the ones that kind of stood out to you?
Within the movie, you mean?
No, just with just a Hail Mary, just kind of like, all right, I'm going to go for this.
Well, I think I got to go back to Hercules. I mean, I competed against. I found out from Universal, those 2,800 actors competed for that role. They called me back seven
Wow.
times. So that was the ultimate Hail Mary to me to really get my career going. Because honestly, without Hercules and the hit that it became around the world, I wouldn't have gotten What If. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten Andromeda in the next series. That really was a catalyst to really get my career going. But What If was really, for me, was the start of me wanting to do more and more of these kind of movies. And that's pretty much what I've been doing the last 15 years. Look, I've got 4 new movies coming out this year. Two of them are secular, but they're comedies, and two of them are faith-based. And I got 3 faith-based documentaries coming out. I just shot another Christmas movie. It's coming out at Christmas. And I'm about to do a comedy faith movie with Dean Cain in Vegas. I leave this weekend to start filming that.
Oh, that's great. Well, what is it that you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path? I mean, I'm guessing it's your faith, but is there something you tell yourself that kind of gets you going like that?
I just look at what Hollywood's doing. And I realize, boy, they're going to keep up this battle. I'm going to keep up mine. So we just
Yeah,
kind of do it in a lower budget way. But I think the movies that I've been lucky to be part of have been much better than most Hollywood movies coming out right now, because the agenda that they have, and the message is filled with so much. It's over sexualized. It's angry. It's violent. It just gets old. And it's amazing to me that they keep making them, because a lot of people are getting turned off by them.
and why do you suppose that is? Is it just there's always the devil coming at us with the bad content, or what is it that there's such a battle against good content?
Well, I think over the last, especially last 5 or 6 years, I think it's worn Hollywood down a little bit, because all the major studios, from what I'm understanding, and all, like even Netflix and Amazon, they're starting to reach out to people and say, "Hey, do you have any sort of faith movies, scripts out there that we'd like to look at?" So they realize there's a market out there. I mean, I read somewhere there's 80 million homes out there, 80 million that want the kind of content that I'm doing. So I keep saying, how come I can't get $1 from each one of those homes? I could make $80 million. I could make about 40 amazing movies with that. So
Yeah.
I just got to keep plugging along and do what we're doing. I mean, funding these things is always the most difficult part, and I just keep battling because I enjoy what I do, and this, I look upon this as, this is my mission field. This is what God intended me to do.
I love that. And so, of course, I think people will get something different out of this movie depending on what they've been through in their life, or people that they know. So, what are you hoping that people will think about and talk about and discuss about after this?
Well, I hope they get inspired by it. I hope they get inspired by the message that's in there, the message about love and hope and redemption, about second chances. Because everybody, it doesn't matter, that doesn't really matter how bad your life has been. I tell people that are agnostic or atheists, go read in the Bible about David. Read David's story, and you go, God picked that guy. So I think it's worthwhile looking at it and realizing that there's a lot of chances out there to turn your life around. It's really up to you to want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, last thing, of course, we can't wait to see what all you have coming up next. So, I know you're going to film this weekend, but what else do we need to look out for?
I've got a couple of wonderful documentaries coming out there. I hope people look at it. I worked with Brent Miller's company, Ingenuity Films. We had a documentary called Before the Wrath. Came out 3 years ago. It was the #1 documentary on Amazon for that year. And this is the follow-up, though. This is called this is about the Last Supper, and it's called Eating with the Enemy. I hope people take a look at it. And another one called Against the
Mm.
World. I worked with John Lennox for about 5 weeks. We shot between Israel and Oxford. He's a retired math professor, but he's an amazing, amazing apologist. He has debated all the great atheists, were like Dawkins and Hitchens and Singer. It's called Against the World, and I hope people check that out. It's pretty amazing. I call it apologetics for dummies like me.
I love it. Hey, well, it's always a pleasure to have you on with us. I really, really appreciate your time and the wonderful answers, and look forward to seeing you again soon. But for now, we're going to tell everybody to check this movie out. And if they've seen it, see it again, right?
Awesome. Thank you. Go to
Hey,
sorbostudios.com, and also go to fathomentertainment.com for information on What If.
awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. We'll see you.